pyramid tomorrow and we'll see who I have number one. I'll tell you right now, it's Mahomes. But the problem isn't that just Mahomes is behind Rodgers. The problem is that there's 4, 5, 6 guys on this list that should be ahead of Aaron Rodgers right now. Brew, I don't know how one can see Aaron Rodgers' performance the last 2 regular seasons and then see his performance the last 2 postseasons and still be like, yeah, best quarterback in football. No, he isn't. There was a period of time where one could argue a lot of the Packers' playoff failures were not really on Aaron Rodgers. Where the NFC Championship game, they lost to the Falcons. I think the Falcons scored touchdowns on 4 of their first 5 possessions. Now, the Packers' offense didn't do much in that first half either, but it felt like they just knew, we can't stop them, we're screwed. Right? The unlucky loss to Seattle when they should have gone to another Super Bowl. Except for the fact Rodgers wasn't great in that game either, but it fell more on Mike McCarthy and his play calling. But the last 2 years, the NFC Championship game against Tom Brady, where Rodgers spits the bit at the end of the first half and flips that game, and then at the end of the game, makes the wrong decision on a critical 3rd down, down 8. And then this year's divisional round game, where they score a touchdown on their first possession and then score 3 points the rest of the way. And Rodgers, before the punt was blocked, when they would have been in fine position, or it might have been after the punt was blocked, but before they were losing the game, tie game, I think it was 10-10, so it would have been after when the punt was blocked. And he misses Allen Lazard because he's going for the kill shot to a double-covered Devontae Adams. Brew, I just don't know how one can watch those games and say, yep, he's the guy I'd want more than anybody. How can you say you'd want him not just over Mahomes, but over Josh Allen, over Tom Brady, over Joe Burrow, over, I'll throw a name out there, Justin Herbert, who hadn't played in a playoff game yet. But I just don't know how you can say it. It's crazy. It wouldn't be crazy to me, Brew, if it was a fan poll. But for team executives to be saying it is wild to me.
No, I agree with you, Nick. And you know I've been beating this drum on Rodgers for a while now.
You have
but
been.
Now I wouldn't go 6. I wouldn't put Burrow, as great as he was last year, and Herbert ahead of, and even Josh Allen. Just because I haven't quite seen enough, right? It's early in their careers. They haven't had as much playoff experience as a Mahomes has had. But my top 3 would be Mahomes, Brady, and then Rodgers. Because I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. Unless Jeremy Fowler of ESPN told these executives and scouts and coaches and players, hey, just regular season. Don't worry about the playoffs. Just who you want in the regular season. I could understand it then because he's phenomenal in the regular seasons. But he does not get it done in the playoffs. I mean, how much more evidence do we need? And Nick, you're right. People have always blamed Green Bay's defense. Some people are still doing that. But while the defense was giving up points, why wasn't the offense with the great Aaron Rodgers, some say the greatest to ever throw the football, why weren't they scoring points? You know, I mean, what were they down to Brady a couple years ago? 28-10. You know, and you mentioned it. Rodgers at the end of the first half screwed up. All right, they're down 27-0 to Garoppolo and the Niners 3 years ago. Well, yeah, the defense wasn't playing well, but the offense was doing nothing either. And when people just look at these box scores, they see, wow, Rodgers threw for 300 plus. He did his job. Yeah, but most of that came when the game was pretty much over. And he's trying to mount a big comeback. All right, but he just has not gotten it done in the last 2 years, Nick, have been at Lambeau. All right, and we've seen this before, but it's worth showing. Wilds in NFC Championship games. He's 1-4. Since he won the Super Bowl more than a decade ago, he's 7-9 in the postseason. And here's what the stat I want you to zero in on. You see the passer rating is just plummets. But the touchdown to interception ratio, this shows that there's something, whether nerves, whether it's some intangibles he's lacking, because Aaron Rodgers' claim to fame is that he does not turn the ball over.
Never throws.
He is he's the only quarterback with 400+ touchdowns and not even 100 interceptions. He's phenomenal in that regard. And yet in the NFC title games, when it's really on the line, when the stage is big and the lights are bright, he's got 9 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. That is an incredible flip. And so, no, I'm with Nick Wiles. I cannot have Rodgers as the top quarterback in the league.
Okay, I don't have Rodgers as number 1. I don't have Patrick Mahomes as number 1, if we can show the list. And here's why. Now, granted, Aaron Rodgers is back-to-back MVP, and there's times when you watch his games where it feels like he has a total mastery of the position. A lot of those times is when he's throwing the ball to Devontae Adams, who isn't there. I say the same things about Patrick Mahomes. Oh, look at that ball to Tyreek Hill.
Simmons obviously coming in and not playing right away. He hasn't given it a full shot and a full chance. I think KD looks himself in the mirror, whether he consults with his agent, his family, close friends. I think they would tell him, hey, let's sit down, let's try to figure this out. If everybody comes back ready to play, Kyrie should have a chip on his shoulder because he didn't get a long-term deal. Ben Simmons has sat out a whole year. He should be healthy. And they also have added some decent pieces. Royce O'Neal's a good pickup. We don't know yet.
True.
Warren could be a good pickup. 2 years ago, he was amazing in the bubble. You re-signed some key pieces to the team. So I'm looking at all the things that are in place for KD. Going to Golden State won't make it better because if anybody had to check, the Western Conference is tough. So it's no guarantee him going to Golden State is going to get them a title. This is totally different than the first time that he went out there, which it was a no-brainer. It won't be a no-brainer if he just goes to Golden State. So that's not necessarily the correct answer going there as well because you don't know what you have to give up. And let's face it, let's think about it. Golden State, you need a little luck. Their path to the finals was a lot of injuries. They played teams with injuries, guys missing games. It wasn't just like this clear cut. They beat everybody. They played some teams with some handicaps out there. So we got to put that in perspective too. That's why Steph ain't shutting it down. That's why Steph is like, well, he understands it was a little. They had a little easier path to that finals than what people want to talk about.
All right, this is interesting. First of all, when Nick was kicking his goobly gook about why the Warriors shouldn't want KD, we were having technical difficulties. So we really couldn't really understand and hear everything he was saying. Oh, really? And that was by design. That was something going on because once he started talking about KD shouldn't want to go there, it cleared up. Because that's the only point Nick was making that made sense. All right, so there was that. Twine, I love it wasn't even subtle. I love you saying, look, KD, you should go back to Brooklyn or you should stay in Brooklyn because you're right. There is no place he's going outside of Golden State, I'll get to that in a minute, where he would have a better chance of winning a championship. And it might, whether it happens in Brooklyn or not, we'll see, but the other teams will have to give up so much to get him that they're not going to be in position or a better position than Brooklyn is already in to win the championship. And you're right, he hasn't given it a chance. And that's, I think, what the most pushback has come from. Dude, you played 44 games with Kyrie. You missed the entire first year there. The second year, Harden was hurt. Kyrie was hurt. You were hurt at times. You guys never really were all together. And then last year, you had no chemistry because Kyrie sat out with didn't get vaccinated. So give it a shot. So I'm all with you there. Where I disagree with you, Twine, is Golden State. If KD went to Golden State, it'd be a shoo-in. As long as they stay healthy, they would win another championship. The question is, how many would they win? Would they win 1? Would they win 2? Would they win 3 more? But still, KD shouldn't go there because Nick's right. The challenge. Sports is about competition, Wilds. Where's the competition in going to a team that just won a championship? We take up the challenge of leading a team to a title unless you've had the revelation in your own mind that I'm Robin.
Yes.
I know I got Batman skills. I've got Batman talent, but I'm Robin. If he were to go to Golden State and who knows how many titles they might win, he would forever be known as Robin to Steph Curry's Batman, and I don't know that KD wants that. I don't think he should want that.
Okay, I don't think he's ever going to be Robin. He's too good to be Robin. But here's a theory. Nick, I'll throw it to you since you're back without it. But we will, if you start to blabber on some horrible take, we will start messing with your audio again. So stay with us. It feels like all of sports media, maybe besides you, think that the Nets have a good chance to contend for a title. Oh, Ben Simmons and Kyrie, and you get Joe Harris rolling. You got Rose. Like you're kind of an outlier who doesn't think the Nets have a chance.
Yeah, it's been right about them every year. Correct. The outlier, correct guy.
What if KD looks around and says,